Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection. Heart to heart. Make us start with the soul connection. Soul connection.
Welcome to Sixth Sense and Beyond. I'm your host, Christina Andrianopoulos.
And I'm your host, Katherine Glass, psychic medium.
We have a fantastic show today.
Yes, we do, as usual.
Yes, and you know what I love about our show is it was about a week ago that we had no idea who was going to be on because
Giving our
the
secrets away.
person we had on had to not come on.
Right.
And so, but you're helping me with my intuition and my trust and my laws of attraction.
Yes.
So that I sat back and said, you know, I'm not worried about it.
gonna
Spirit
work out.
World will send us a fantastic guest.
Yes.
We have a wonderful guest, Ellen Tad.
Yep. She's
Right.
a clairvoyant counselor and has written books. She's an author and a teacher, spiritual teacher, fascinating woman. I've just been chatting with her a little bit, so we're going to give her the floor in a minute.
You're going to love her. And,
Yeah.
and our guests, the parents, the McDermotts,
Right.
who were here because their daughter had passed prematurely, had done a session with her, and she recommended her to us. So I love the connection.
Yes.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
And also, we have our wonderful on-air lucky guest, and her name is Joanne.
Yeah.
And she's going to do a public on-air reading with you.
On display, no. It's really fun. It's easy.
It is.
Yeah.
And she had contacted us so many months ago, and I looked down at the list, and hers popped up, so she's meant to be here today.
Great. I
Yeah,
look
that's
forward
great.
to meeting her.
And those who came to our psychic gallery last week, it was so wonderful. We had a chock full of people there,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
you just amazed so many people. You know, you're like the gatekeeper of the souls. They're coming through.
I don't know about that, but they're always with us, and when they get an opportunity to come through to their loved ones, they love that opportunity, and I
Right.
just try to be of service to spirit as best I can.
And also get a pen and paper because we're going to do our psychic challenge. We do that every single week, so you can guess one of the three objects that Katherine picks and transmits it to you
Well,
and
you're
to
not
me.
guessing, you're reading.
You're reading. You're
tuning
right.
in,
Oh,
right.
that's a better way to say because it's not a guess. So when you go to the casinos, you're not guessing anymore. You're reading.
That's right. A tool you can use.
I know. I love how I just transfer that into like real life situations. So
And then we're going to have our psychic tips.
our psychic tips, yes.
Yes,
And
today we're going to talk about shielding with affirming energies or intentions. All the chakras, the 7 chakras shield.
that's great.
Yeah.
And we do need to shield sometimes. People don't
Not-
have the best intentions.
Yeah, and not
right?
shielding out of fear, and we'll talk about that. It's a
Yes.
different intention.
Absolutely. And we couldn't do it without our sponsors, Julio's Liquors.
Spirit meets spirit.
And we
Those
were
guys are
on
fun.
their radio, on Ryan Mahoney
show.
right,
Yep.
and Randall Bird. And they have a show called It's the Liquor Talking every Saturday between 11 and 1. And
Yeah.
we were on.
It was really funny. We went on and they advertised the gallery that we just did, and
Right.
it was like a riot. I walk into this huge liquor store, which I'd never been in. It's actually very nicely done, and immediately I was picking up on the ancestors who opened it, and
Yeah.
that was really cool. And they're like demonstrating whiskey shots at like 11:30 in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God. But we had a great time.
As TV personalities, you got to do what you got to do,
Oh.
right?
Oh no.
No, I know.
We
And
always
then
have choice.
your wonderful Healing Essence Center is our
Yes.
sponsor.
Yep, Healing Essence in Concord, Massachusetts, where we give all kinds of healing modalities, acupuncture, Ayurvedic healing, energy healing, clairvoyant readings,
Yeah.
and wonderful body work. Yeah.
Oh, and we can't forget the YMCA. The YMCA is celebrating 150 years. Boy, I bet you can figure out what went on 150 years ago in their facilities,
Oh
couldn't
my
you?
gosh, yeah, we should take a walk through there.
We should.
Do a ghost read.
Yeah, that's great. So the YMCA, thank you so much. And of course, Christian Ray, who's now with another powerhouse, Sal Akuri at Akuri Moda, and he makes us all look like celebrities.
Yes, keeps us
we do.
beautiful.
Great. And Goria Brazil, thank you so much for the clothing that they just throw at us. So thank you. Keep throwing them. Okay, so now we've got to go right into our first
Yes,
guest.
let's
'cause
bring in
we
Ellen.
love, yes, Ellen.
Ellen, and the name Ellen means light. I just
I love
wanted
that.
to say that.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. So light
Here
up
we
our
are.
lives.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
Welcome to Sixth
Thank
Sense and
you.
Beyond.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here and being available too. Thank you.
So should we start with just a little bit about your background, and then we'll show your books
Great. Thank you.
and what you do.
Okay. Well, I like to talk about how I started doing this work.
That's great.
I didn't expect that my life's work was going to be working as a clairvoyant, and so What happened to me was at age 19, my mother came back and talked to me after she died. And it was my watershed event, and it was particularly significant for me because my mother had a severe case of MS. And I really didn't know her as a healthy woman. And as a small child, I was naturally philosophical, and I was always asking why. Why is it that one person is sick and one person is well and one person is rich and one person is poor? It just seemed to me that there must be some order to life. I was raised by my father, who is a physicist, and he was great in answering questions like, why are the tops of waves white, or how does a television work? But the deeper questions, the meaning of life, he wasn't able to answer. And I remember as a child feeling really upset because I said, I'm me. I should know more about me than anyone else because I am me. So I was naturally searching and was not satisfied with what I was reading in college, and people in different religions didn't satisfy me. I wasn't raised with any religion, but I went around to lots of churches and listened to what priests and ministers had to say, and I was never satisfied. Then when my mother came back and talked to me, she said, no matter how things appear, if you look deeply, you will see there are always reasons and always justice. And after that, it was like a veil was lifted. And I started to be able to see the etheric world.
Can I ask you a question, Ellen?
Wow.
That is fantastic, and many guests that we have here tell us of the story as young children, youngins, except for yours, because you had a whole lineage of support systems there, who would not answer the questions that we had.
Yes.
And so right now we're learning that a lot of us were crystal children, and we had answers inside of us, but they weren't being satisfied. So it took some hardship with your mom's illness. It must have been heartbreaking to see her not well your whole life at that time.
Well, that was certainly difficult. I had some great parts of my childhood too, so I never think that it was just a difficult childhood. You know, my father and brother were singers. My brother was a professional singer, so we always had a lot of music, and that brought a lot of joy. You know, I also have children, and when my daughter was young, she was naturally clairvoyant. She had a little imaginary friend, Hana Peach, who was a little Japanese girl. But what I watched happen with my own children is when they went to school, the conditioning of the culture started to
Shut them down.
shut them down. Exactly.
Well, in a way, they have to in that environment.
Well, it's part of their learning. But the point is that I don't see that as a bad thing. I think it's part of an evolutionary process.
Right.
But after the experience with my mother, I then started having beings from the spiritual world appear to me and teach me. So I became much more interested in connecting with entities who knew a lot more than I did. Then I was interested in communicating messages from dead relatives, because I really was naturally asking the bigger questions. Who am I and why am I here?
How would they come to you? Because, you know, like our viewers, you are obviously very evolved, and I had my experiences, but our viewers are probably asking, how did these beings come to you? How did you call onto them? And
well, I actually didn't call them. They came to me. So one of the events that I talk about in my Death and Letting Go book is I had the flu. I was really sick. And so at 3 o'clock in the morning, as I was recovering from the flu, a beautiful Asian man in etheric form appeared above my bed.
wow.
And the etheric form, beings in the etheric form look just like us, except their skin is more scintillating light. You know, when I die, my etheric body will walk away and my physical body will drop. And the etheric body looks like the physical, except it's moving faster.
The particles of light.
Yes, so we know my arm isn't solid, it's moving fast.
Sure.
The etheric body, the energy is just moving faster. So clairvoyance, part of clairvoyance is to be able to see the faster moving vibration.
Wow, that's great.
And this is why we have this show, and this is why I
Yes.
select so carefully who comes on, because clearly this woman is very sane. very grounded.
Yes, I pay
And-
my bills on time.
Yes, and she's got her feet on the ground,
Yeah.
and she has a lot of deep knowledge and wisdom, and as do many light workers and healers
Yeah.
on this planet. And this is why I care about being here and doing this work.
Well, that's great, and we care that you're here too, because it wouldn't be a show without you,
Yeah.
because it's a psychic paranormal show. But also, the reason why my mission behind this is to open the spiritual world to the world. It's our mission, and to offer this platform to individuals like you that come to us through whichever channel. And your message is really important for everybody to hear. It's important for me to hear. It's important for you to hear, being an advanced intuitive, and it's important for all of you to hear. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot of questions, because as you're speaking, your website is coming up, and that's how people
Yes,
can get in
and
touch with
I
you.
want to emphasize, because I know we don't have long here, but you are self-taught. These beings came to you, and for 10 years you worked with this wisdom coming to you, and wrote it down and grounded it.
Before I started teaching.
Before she started teaching. And also I want to make it really clear that you do see private individuals, you do counseling and help people, awaken to their own awareness? What is it you do? You feel past life pain?
Well, in a first session, what I do is look at the past life patterns, because I want to clarify, why is a person incarnated? Who are they? Why are they here? And what are their fundamental lessons? So from that overview, then I begin to teach tools, because I believe that that we have two fundamental challenges in our evolutionary process. One is our past life traumas and fears that are not resolved, and the second is our cultural conditioning that confuses us. So in the process of utilizing the tools that my guides have taught me, we start to clarify which cultural messages support us and which cultural messages do not. And meditation is also an important part of what I teach.
Absolutely.
I have another question for you. I believe in past lives. I know several of mine. I've had counselors who've helped me understand them, and they've come to me as well. So one of the things that I hear is that, oh, you're creating your karma. So what are your thoughts in reference to, like, all the actions you take right now? Are you creating the karma going forward? Is that free will? Those are your choices? Or do you
Yes.
come pre-programmed?
Well, karma means cause and effect. And so we can have cause and effect from a previous incarnation. We can have cause and effect from this life. But usually the term karma is in relationship to previous incarnations. To me, the very most interesting question of all is, what is destined and what is choice? And in spiritual circles, people talk about you can create your own reality, and then other people say life is destined. Well, if we could create our own reality, we can just take charge. If life is destined, we just go for the ride. The challenge is it's some of both.
Yes. That's
And
what I do.
so
I kind
what
of go for the ride, but I also try to create it and
Yes,
steer it.
Great.
and
Totally.
and some people have what I call short leash lives, where they have a lot of destiny and a little choice. Other people have long leash lives, which is a lot of choice and a little destiny.
So you help people who come to see you to understand if that's such a perfect way to put it, a short leash or a long leash. Or
Is there
in
any in between?
Yeah, well, you know, there's
like a soul,
variation.
like a young soul who lives quickly and dies young. I mean, we all die at the right time for our soul. I believe that. So when our guest who brought you to us, their daughter passed at 20.
Right.
That was her life. She had a short leash life with maybe a strong purpose.
Well, I don't remember the details of that situation, so I can't speak to it. But what I say is, in life, the most important thing is attunement. Attuning our conscious mind with our spirit. And that when we do that, we're able to know, do we need to just accept or do we need to initiate?
That's great, Ellen. It's so wonderful.
Show
We
her
could
books
probably
before
have
we
you
run
on
out of
here for
Yeah, you're
like
coming
ever,
back
ever.
for sure.
It's attunement, wisdom of the chakras. I figured that was appropriate after you brought that up. These are the two books, and Death and Letting Go. These are wonderful.
This is a wonderful book. Ellen was saying that is good for people how to prepare and understand what happens before the death process
Yes.
and also after. Or?
Well, yes, it's seeing death as a continuation of life. And I've had a lot of clairvoyant experiences and been able to converse with people on the other side. So there's stories that help people to not be afraid.
Fabulous.
Okay, well, guess what? Do you mind being part of our psychic
I'd be
challenge?
happy to
First of all,
hold this.
thank you so much.
You're
This is so
welcome.
wonderful.
Get these
My
books
pleasure.
on your website or on Amazon.
It's
Amazon,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay, so
Psychic challenge,
psychic
guys.
challenge. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay.
Okay,
Well,
I'm tuning in to one
Right.
of these objects.
so what we're doing for those who have not seen this before is we have 3 objects here. One that Ellen is holding, it's a serving dish, and this is a beautiful wood piece that's been carved.
From Hawaii.
From Hawaii, and this is a goddess that I'm holding.
She's from Glastonbury, England.
Okay, great. So Catherine is going to transmit one of these to you. I don't know what it is, and Ellen doesn't either. And then when we come back after our on-air reading, we'll find out what the answer is. So let's tune in right now.
Okay.
You already did it?
Well, I've been doing it.
Oh, okay. All right. So give you another minute. Okay, which one do you think it is? All right, I got mine. Okay, great. All right, Ellen, thank you so much, and
My
we'll have
pleasure.
you back again.
Thank you for
Definitely.
offering
Thank
this
you.
service.
Thank you. And we'll be right
You're
back.
welcome.
A soul connection. Soul to soul connection.
Welcome back. This is the segment of the show where I give my on-air reading to our lucky guest. Today we have Joanne. Thank you for coming on, Joanne.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Great. Okay, so I have a few minutes to spend with you, and I'm just going to open to spirit and address any questions you may have. Before you do that, I'm just going to read and just tell you what I received from you, okay? I know that you're a very gentle soul. I feel that you have been connected to a life of service. If not in this life, then in past lives. You definitely have a serving, benevolent heart and generous soul about you. A great love for children, or children feeling safe around you, really lights up for me as I take you in and your energy. I feel water energy around you a lot, and then you've also shown me that you write children's books, and you have a book with you called Seashells, and this is beautiful. And even as I look at the pages and the pictures, the same soft energy that I see in your auric field and in your dress. Also, among all this softness, though, I feel that there's also a part of you that's quite directed. And when you want something and you're clear about what you want, you're able to execute it. I don't think you're any kind of disorganized, slouchy person. I think you're quite willful when you want to be. So there is this soft feeling of, openness about you and very approachable. But if I were to be in a crisis, perhaps, I probably wouldn't be worried if you were there. Do you understand that?
I do feel very determined when I want to do something.
And kind of almost know how to take charge or direct it when you're clear what you want. You do have a trouble with decisiveness, I feel. You go back and forth sometimes with indecision, but again, once you're clear, and I think the indecisiveness you experience has more to do with self-doubt about your own ability. Like if you're dealing with someone else or helping manage something, you're good. But when it comes to your own perception of yourself, I think that you either doubt yourself or get shy or shrink back or something like that. Do you understand that?
Yes, absolutely.
And were you raised in a home that was teaching you, don't be all that, like don't shine your ego or something like that, or don't be too proud?
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
Puppy out there. It was a different era then when we were raised, and now it's more of a culture of supporting and self-esteem and all of that. So the kids are really taught more to open and shine their gifts now than we were in your era growing up.
True.
But I see that you're very creative. You have a very good mind, and writing clearly is important to you. And I also know that your father is around you, and he's present, and he came to me right when I saw you. I felt him standing sort of behind you, very proud and really trying to cheer you on and support you and keep your back straight and stand up in this world with your vision and your hopes for your future. He came to me as a man with strong arms and dark hair, a little bit of sideburns, was a smoker. Do you understand these details? Okay.
Yes.
And his main energy was concern about the girls. And I know that you have a sister, and there are some girls in your family. You said there were 4, right?
Yes.
I just know he said, my girls. So, and then he gave me the name Teen or Teens, and you said Christine.
Yes,
is
I have
his
a sister, Christine.
So I feel that there's loving concern coming from him just to support her, keep an eye on her. I feel that she's going through a hard time right now. She's struggling with her health.
Yes.
And maybe also her mental health. I feel that she's low. Her energy's low. She needs to know that she's loved and cared for and supported.
Okay.
If you can share that with her, that's what he is wanting more than anything. He's doing thumbs up. And also love to mom, to your mom from him. And I want to just quick address your answer about your question about your books, your career. Yes, there are more books coming. You always have free choice. I feel that there's a longing in you to create and write more. It feels like a solace for you to do this, and it really is aligned with your right work. Opening children's imaginations with your books, and your heart comes through that writing, and it's a real gift to the children. So I would encourage you to continue and open up the box. Like don't be too specific necessarily right away at the beginning during the creative stage about what has to be. But I do see, I feel that you're going to be developing a character, like a specific character who goes through a series of adventures in these books. Maybe they're by the sea, sure, I don't know, because I know that you've written books about the sea.
Okay.
But be open to any ideas that come to you, talking animals or nature spirits or things like this, and allow that guide that is with you. There's a spirit guide who helps you write these books. Allow that guide to channel through you, and write these books with and for you, and it will be effortless and joyful.
All right.
All right.
That sounds great.
Okay.
So maybe I should meditate a little bit to let that spirit come in.
Always meditation, always a good
Okay.
thing. Yes, ask, open to that, connect to that spirit. Say, please, I'm ready to receive information about writing these books. Any help and guidance you want to give me? And you can speak to your Father. He's with you. He's loving you from spirit. He's watching over you. He's with you when you're driving. He says he kisses you all at night when you go to sleep. And you can just say, hey, Dad, thank you. I love you, and I feel you. And
Wow.
any information you want to give me signs. They always want to give us signs through nature, songs on the radio. You'll see.
Okay.
So I want to thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on
That was
today. And
wonderful.
I hope this was helpful for you.
Yes, very much so. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you too.
Make a soul connection.
Welcome back, and now our psychic challenge. But before that, Catherine, you were fantastic again with Joanne.
Thank you,
That was such
Christina.
great information that you gave her.
Good.
Great,
Good.
yeah.
Thank you,
And
Spirit.
anybody who wants it, readings at sixthsenseandbeyond.com, readings at sixthsenseandbeyond.com, and you may be a lucky recipient of on-air readings.
Yes.
With Catherine. All right, so now, Catherine, we left the other segment with one of these three.
Mm-hmm.
So is it the serving dish? Is it the beautiful piece
Hawaiian
of carved wood
carved wood.
from Hawaii? Or is it the goddess from
Glastonbury, England.
England? Okay, so which one do you think it is? All right, well,
Drum
if you
roll.
chose the goddess, this is the one,
Yeah.
right? So anyway, I wasn't correct this time
Oh,
because
Christina,
I got
she's
too much.
working on it.
Yeah, I am working on it. So if you chose the goddess, you are correct. Now, just keep tuning in every single week to get even better at it. One of our favorite segments is psychic tips. So
Okay.
let's get into that.
So today for psychic tips, I'm going to teach you very quick, beautiful, powerful technique I learned from my wonderful teacher Sharon Turner, who was from Whitby in Seattle, Washington. And what it is you're going to shield each chakra with the power of words, affirmations, which are energy and thoughts and intention. Okay, so you do like this. You sit down and you shield yourself for the day. First shield, you take your hand. My physical body is always safe. That's
I
your
love
first
that.
chakra, first shield, physical body. Second shield, second chakra. My emotional body is always safe. Third chakra, third shield. I own my personal power at all times. And you're shielding with your hand the energy around your auric field. For the heart chakra, you say, I own my perfect vision of my divine self. That's
love
the
that.
heart. I see and own my own perfect vision of my highest good divine self. That's your heart. Your throat is, I speak my thoughts with integrity. You share your thoughts with integrity. Throat chakra, speaking. Sixth shield, sixth chakra. I own my spiritual gifts. My gifts of seeing, my gifts of intuition.
Right.
Seventh shield, I own my higher information. I own and trust my own higher information, which comes right through the crown chakra. When you vibrate these shields, guys, say them as many times a day as you want to, you set an energy field in your auric field that deflects negativity,
That's great.
dark energy being thrown at you, judgments, criticism, all of it. It'll
It
really
also
make you
helps
feel good.
you
Yes.
give out really
Yes,
good.
and I share
That's
that
great. And if you didn't remember
from
all
my
of them, there's 7 of them, and just do it 7 times.
Yeah,
and,
or write to Sixth Sense and I'll answer you.
Exactly. Really. Readings at sixthsenseandbeyond.com. Thank you. That's great. And Your hand might not be as graceful as Catherine's, but just do it. Just kind
Yeah,
of like surround.
just hold the intention.
Visualize it.
Hold
yeah.
up your shield.
Well, it's the end again of a wonderful show. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for watching. And please write in to us, readings at sixsenseandbeyond.com about anything. Catherine also does private readings, much longer private
Yes, I
readings than
do.
she does. That's just a little demonstration.
And I do energy healings too.
Energy healing
sessions, yeah.
CatherineGlass.com, and she can do house parties and all that, galleries and all that. That's great. So we don't have to go to Long Island. We have our very own right here
The
in
Worcester
Central,
Medium, the Boston
in Central
Medium.
Massachusetts. Thank you so much. And thank you, Christian Ray, for making us all look like celebrities, Healing Essence Centers for being a great sponsor, YMCA and TJ Woods Insurance. Thank you so much. And when you see us out and about, stop us and say hello. and tell us what you'd like to see and hear.
Yes. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Let's make a soul connection.